What's good, everybody? What's up? Welcome in as our incredibly busy Monday continues. This is the Coach and Bro Show, the fastest growing YouTube remote show in all of the land. We got a lot to talk about today. The fallout from Saturday night's main event. If you're coming in, today is YouTube only. Hit the like button on the way in. If you have not subscribed to this channel, I encourage you to do that. And also turn on your notifications because you never know. Never know. We had a great live watch along on Saturday. Thank you guys for joining us there. But we got to get into a lot. So let's bring in my partner. I mean, he is one of the busiest men in all of pro wrestling, and I can't wait to hear his feedback. He is the creative genius behind JCW. Over 100,000 views a week on Facebook, on the Twitter, on the YouTube. And he still makes time for little old us. Look at the superstar, Russo'sBrand.com. What up, Vince?
Listen, I am always thinking of my coach. Man, bro, tough day for those Chiefs yesterday. Oh, man, tough day. How long is he going to be out now? Isn't an injury like that is usually over a year? No,
normally it is. So we got good news today that Patrick Mahomes did not hurt any of the other part of the knee. So it's just the ACL. And so there was a running back for the Rams 2 years ago who came back in 9 months. They have such a technology or advancements in medicine. ACL, as long as you don't hurt the MCL or the PCL, you can come back in less than a year. The problem is, though, let's say it's 8 months or 9 months. That's still September. That's still into the season. So it sucks, but I got to tell you, Vince, and you're a big baseball fan. I have 3 rings. I have 5 trips to the Super Bowl in the last 8 years?
Yeah.
If I can't be happy with that, then I'm the idiot.
Yeah, I was the same way with the Giants. When the Giants will win in 3 World Series every other year, like I was like fine for the rest of my life.
Correct.
Like, I know the feeling, Coach.
Yeah,
I know.
So it sucks because when you read what he wrote on Twitter, he's like, "Listen, I'm not going to lie to you. This hurts." Like I sometimes athletes are all like, "Hey, I'm going to come back." He understands the comeback trail. So I love the fact that he put on social media, this hurts. This isn't easy. This is painful. And I know that I'm probably going to have 9 months of hardcore rehab.
You know, Coach, I know I would not do this to you if this were stadium because I know we're very rigid and I got to follow the rules and regulations.
Yes.
But I want to throw this at you today because a lot of people forget this. And you and I as sports fans, a lot of people watching the show are sports fans. Right now, guys, if you're a baseball fan, I mean, we are in the hot stove. It's the hot stove. They're signing free agents. And this is what I want people to understand. Okay, so let's take for argument's sake, Coach, Pete Alonso just got a 5-year contract, $150 million.
Correct.
Now you have to understand, guys, that $150 million has to come from somewhere. So now if I'm a fan of the Baltimore Orioles and my ticket price goes up a little, I'm cool with that. You got Pete Alonso because the whole idea is we want a championship team. You got Alonso. You had to pay $150 million. If you want to add a couple shillings onto the ticket, I'm cool with that. I compared that to the WWE. What are WWE fans getting as they continue to raise? What free agents? What free agents are signing with the WWE that's costing TKO tens of millions of dollars that we're raising? I mean, Coach, is that not a legitimate comparison?
But it's way too smart of a comparison because you're making sense. And nobody in this space, wrestling fans, not the ones that watch here, they're very smart, but most wrestling fans, no, we can't compare that. No, because that would make sense. Because that would be, when I look at it like that, I've got to stop and think about it for a second. And fans should. I've been so caught up, and we'll look at it from every angle, in being insulted. I'm an idiot. That's why you're not a booker. You don't get it. And I'm like, wait a second. I probably get it as much as anybody because I take my fandom out of it. I truly do. I look at it from what it could be. Real quick, because I know there's going to be a lot of questions about Saturday night. How can people get their questions read? And also a very special Wheel of Doom?
Yes, and guys, we expect a lot of questions today. There is so much to talk about based on the Saturday night main event. Guys, through Super Sticker or donation, we will pull you up on the screen for $5 or more. We will address your question, your comment. But, Coach, how do they take that to the next level?
Well, we just got so popular that we couldn't read 60. One day we had 68 of them. And so I said, we can't do that. So we wanted to still reward you. So anything $10 or more, you then get saved on Thursday's episode. We do a very special Wheel of Doom. We put your name up on a wheel, spin it, and if you win, you get a very, very cool piece of merchandise from our new merch store. And we just got somebody new in there, so they're developing a lot of new merch. We want you to get a piece of it and then send us a picture. We'll put you right up onto the show. So in answer to your question, I think it's a great way for us to jump off this episode that when the WWE charged those thousands of dollars for a ticket on Saturday night, and I tried to explain this to people on my radio show today, Vince, and I said, you guys are getting caught up. All of a sudden, Vince, all these people who hated Triple H and the storylines and all of that are now saying, well, this is great for a storyline. This is great for the long-term storyline of the company. And so I literally made a list, and I said, this list right here is just from John Cena's retirement tour. And how many of these, Vince, did they use for a storyline? I'll let you answer. Logan Paul, storyline?
0.
No. AJ Styles, storyline?
0.
Oh, Cody Rhodes, storyline?
0.
Oh, interesting. Travis Scott. That was a storyline, wasn't it, Vince?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And then the one that even John Cena said, this is to build him up. That makes all the sense in the world. You got to think, I've been in that position before. Brock Lesnar, did they use that one for a storyline? No. So it begs the question, Vince, all the people that called in today and said, Coach, but they're building towards Brock and Gunther. Vince, what would possess us to think that they're going to use that in any way, shape, or form moving forward?
What would possess you to think that Gunther can beat Brock Lesnar when he lost to Sami Zayn? Like, seriously, the guy lost to Sami Zayn. He's going to beat Brock Lesnar. The guy lost to Jey Uso. He's going to beat Brock Lesnar. In what universe is that going to happen?
So you're not really helping my argument here, because I was trying to so that it doesn't hurt when you lose. It doesn't hurt. It's kind of where I was going. But to your point, I see what you're saying.
It doesn't hurt when you lose in a believable loss.
There you go.
Not in an unbelievable loss.
So I'm sitting there Saturday night, and I'm thinking to myself, Vince, when did we stop with we can be creative. This can be fun, and turned into this is the way the wrestling business has always been. There's always a way that you go out, and he did it right every single step of the way. So I threw this out, and I said, what if, just go with me on this. What if this would have happened on Saturday? I had a 14-year-old kid who's part of the Make-A-Wish. He says that John Cena saved his life. Interviewed him. I brought him on, Vince, for the entire watch-along Saturday. When John Cena lost, he was in tears. And we had to basically end the show right afterwards, because this poor kid is looking at his hero who never quit a day in his life. And all of a sudden he's tapping out, smiling about it. And this poor kid's watching his hero. And your boy Jeff Jarrett put it on Twitter. I was like, you know what? He's right. How many movies does the bad guy get over, and then that's the way the movie ends? Hardly ever.
Guys, again, listen, and everybody knows, I might as well change my name to Vince. Give the WWE the benefit of the doubt, Russo, because I always do that. So, guys, I'm going to assume, and again, guys, we say this all the time. This is why you listen to this show, because we bring you to places that we've been. Guys, I've been in this place 1,000 times before as a writer. I am going to assume it was that finish was John Cena's idea.
Me too.
Guys, I'm going to assume that. But as the head writer, as the head booker, if I am in that conversation and I am listening to Cena, I am saying, John, I respect the shit out of you. We ain't doing that, John. Vince, why not? John, it's real simple. You've built a 25-year career of saying never quit, never quit, never quit. So on your very last match, you are going to quit, therefore sending a message to all those kids and all the kids in Make-A-Wish that, hey, guys, sooner or later you're going to quit. You really want to do that, John? No way. No way. And I gotta throw this out there, Coach,
Sure.
because I've been in situations where you've had veterans in that spot throwing out the right thing. And they're doing it expecting somebody to say, we ain't doing that. Mm-hmm. They're expecting somebody to say that. So they're being the nice guy, they're offering it, but they know somebody's going to say, bro, we really can't. Nobody said that here. Nobody said that here, Coach. So you got a guy who built the whole career. Think of the merch of never quit, never give up, never give up. Giving up the very last time you see him.
That part is number one. That part was almost unbelievable to me. The losing part wasn't because, to your point, I'm sure John wants to do right by what they believe this business has always been built on. And that is when you walk out, you go out on your shield. I've always thought that's ridiculous. And I've been in the business for well over a decade. And you do that when you're a champion. You give up the strap. He gave it up 2 weeks ago. Vince, why would this have been so hard for people to comprehend or for Triple H to do? Can you imagine how different that arena would have been if John Cena would have gone over? Can you imagine the shots of those kids in the crowd that were all just bawling? Well, that's awesome because now Gunther's going to be hated. He was going to be hated anyway. He's a heel who's never lost. And so this nonsense that they had to do this to build him instead of Vince, to me, you suspend the reality. John Cena is the only guy that's ever touched those kids the way he touched those kids. They said, hey, it's the same as The Undertaker. No, it's not. This was a guy who was all about the kids. So to me, you suspend the belief and you say, give the kids one night of him just going over. Would that have changed the business at all?
Coach, that's the whole thing. And this is going exactly hand in hand with what you're saying. Who would have ever booked a guy to lose his last 2 matches?
Correct.
That's ridiculous.
The GOAT. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
That's ridiculous. You want to build it to lose his last match and get that one guy over. Fine. I get it. That's been done 1 billion times. The last 2 matches, that's why I kept looking at this saying, there's no way they could do that. There is he's going to go under on his way out. That's fine. The last 2, I'm going to ask you a question now, Coach. Seriously, we had this whole run for the last year. What did John Cena get? What did he get? What did he get? Triple H getting up on the apron, pointing to the screen? That's what John Cena got? That's what he got out of all this?
So Bleacher Report gave the tour an F. And they're actually the site that I go to when I need to see a recap or something like that. I go to Bleacher Report because they're not one-sided. They're not going to write stuff about any organization just to get them to like you. That's how we do our show. That's how I do my radio show. We say the good, the bad, the ugly. And to me, Vince, in this whole situation, that's the biggest question I had. If this is everything that John wanted, and Saturday night was, outside of his part, they had NXT stars that look like stars. If Bayley's allowed to lose, and Bayley's one of the best, why was that not a big deal, losing to Sol Ruca clean? She did that. Why couldn't it have been a young kid beating if he had to lose? What I'm saying is this notion that in 2025 we got to do things a certain way is nonsense in 2025. Is it just me?
Well, listen, Coach, I'm not going to sit there and let you continue to take Producer man, do you have the
oh no.
Producer man, Coach must have missed this this highlight on ESPN where they got Gunther over, where they really got Gunther over. Producer man, please, Coach, you must have missed this because
Gunther, before we say goodbye, I hear since it is the holiday season, you brought a gift over here to First Take. What'd you bring?
Yes, very true. I got sent here with a gift. This is a beautiful piece of WWE memorabilia. I think it's an actually used sledgehammer by Triple H. So,
Coach,
From Triple
Enjoying
H,
the show?
Nick Khan and all your friends
Coach.
at WWE.
Stop it. When did
Merry
this happen?
Christmas.
Coach.
When did this happen?
Coach, come on.
You cannot be serious.
Coach, I saw that and fell out of my freaking seat. Gunther's on there, maybe, arguably, the biggest interview of his career. Stephen K. Smith up there, bro, the biggest interview. And we end it with a Triple H sledgehammer encased. Coach, come on, please.
My head hurts. My head hurts. My head hurts. It's almost as if he's messing with us.
Yes,
Because it's almost what it feels like to me. Because there's no other show that exists in the world that has more fun with that than us. And I'm just sitting there. I would love to know. I would love to be in the room going, hey, guys. So what do we got? Okay, we got Dominic. He was on First Take before. They had no clue who he was. So let's bring Gunther. Oh, and the sledgehammer. That's it. Can you imagine who's suggesting this stuff? I mean, this is banana land to me.
I swear, Gunther, whatever he wants to call him. And I am a fan of his. I really do like the guy. He's got to be sitting there like, are you effing kidding? Like, seriously, are you kidding me?
Oh, my gosh.
Meanwhile, Coach, the farewell tour, we don't want to give him a piece of Cena merch, do we? Why would we want to give him a piece of John Cena merch? Why would we want to do that?
Cena actually did that when he was on the McAfee show. And then they pulled it up today. And because that's what you do. And oh, by the way, Pat McAfee, the biggest star at ESPN, he agrees with us. He was like, he didn't have to lose. And when McAfee says something, people tend to listen. He didn't have to lose. He's like, everybody said he did because that's the way the wrestling business is. He goes, well, why can't you shock the system? And here's I would love to do this experiment. I wish you could do it both ways, Vince. Like the right way, what I consider the right way, and then the wrestling way. You remember what Michael Cole said at the end of the night? He said pro wrestling just beat the hell out of sports entertainment. And I felt like that was a shot at Vince, and it was a shot at John Cena in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And because, if you love wrestling and wrestling matches, you love Gunther. If you like feel-good moments and everybody walking out of the arena happy, Vince, years ago, they made me a ring announcer, okay? I'd already turned heel. I'd already worked matches. They said, we have this idea. I said, what's that? We want you to ring announce house shows. Why would I do that? Well, because at house shows, what do, Vince? Who normally goes over in the main event?
Baby faces.
Why?
Sending people home happy.
So they do what? Buy merch on the way out the door. So they say the next time I want to go again.
Yep.
It's a real thing, guys. It's a real thing. So with me being the heel, the heels could go over. And then the baby face would beat this face up. So heel still gets beat up. Face gets over. Heels get to win the match. Win, win, win. That's wrestling 101, Vince. That has never changed. Send them home happy. They thought that's what was going to send people home happy because you got an extra 5 minutes where the locker room comes out. You had 6 OGs, and I'm not insulting the OGs, but Vince, the career that he had, 23 years, and what they gave us on screen was Mark Henry, Sami Zayn, Eve Torres, Trish Stratus, Haku, and then behind all of them, oh, by the way, just the guy who's a Hall of Famer, just the guy who had his first match. Why would you not give him a pre-tape in the show? Kurt Angle. They used him for nothing.
Yeah.
And that's who you invited? You have Cody Rhodes saying, well, they asked me if I'd be involved. They asked Cody, hey, will you wrestle? He's like, this is the last match. Are you kidding me? And Cody said, Vince, a lot of guys, they act like it's asking too much to do an extra show. I'm like, yeah, I agree with that too, Cody. Vince, it's almost like they were openly just disrespecting John, and he's such a nice guy, they knew he would never say anything.
Well, yes, and let me add to this because, again, Coach, I did not watch that other show that you're on, but let me also use this argument. So Gunther chokes him out. Gunther, beats John Cena. John Cena taps. Okay. And then after that, we have a celebration. So John Cena is perfectly healthy, on his feet, not hurt, to have a celebration, to have Triple H point to the Titantron and the whole nine yards. You just buried Gunther beating John Cena, because obviously John Cena is okay. So don't give me that as an argument, because by doing that, you took away everything Gunther just did at the end of that match with that celebration. John's smiling, John's looking at the video. So now, God, Gunther couldn't have really hurt him that bad. That's where they're clueless. That's where they are absolutely clueless. Coach, here's the right way to do this. If you really want to give John Cena his props, first of all, you beat him twice on the way out. You're purposely burying him. I don't care what anybody says. Triple H should not be in that spot. Former wrestlers should not be bookers because of situations like this, because Triple H wants his legacy to be greater than John Cena's. So in Triple H's mind, yeah, bro, they're going to remember the 2 losses on the way out. That's what they're going to remember. You want to do this the right way, it's real simple. You put Cena over Gunther, and you have at the end of the match, Gunther shakes Cena's hand, raises his hand, and guess what? You turn Gunther babyface. That is more important, bro, to get John Cena on the way out, show the proper respect for the 25 years. Now you got Gunther being a babyface, which will in turn get him over. But listen, I'm just going to put it this way. In a retirement tour, do you people really believe Triple H would have agreed to do the job twice? Does anybody out there believe that for one freaking second? Come on, man. This is borderline disgusting, Coach. It's real. What this man gave, and to take advantage, you're taking advantage of his kindness. This is borderline disgusting to me.
I'll be honest with you. I had not thought about the Triple H angle until you just brought it up. And I was there. And understand, guys, we separate our feelings for the man and the man in wrestling. Because my feelings for Triple H, I like him very, very much. I always have. He's a really good interpersonal communications guy, which is why he got the spot. But I was also in the room when he walked in and sat down with the writers for the very first time. I was in the room when he was the only wrestler in the room with Vince and Kevin and all of us for the very first time. And miraculously, all of a sudden, he started winning championships. He started going over all the time. And if you don't think for a second that Triple H on the way out the door would have put himself over, you're out of your mind.
Yep.
You're out of your mind. And and when you look at it that way, Vince, a lot of these hardcore fans that I saw all over social media, all of a sudden, they're the experts. Well, you don't know how wrestling works. I don't. Really? I don't. That would have changed so much doing it that way. Or also a lot of people who said, well, they're setting up Gunther and Brock. The way you just laid it out, Vince, one of them has to turn babyface.
Bingo. Right there. Absolutely 1,000%.
It's not going to be Brock. Also, we've seen Brock 3 times. What are we building? John said it, right? They haven't done anything to make us believe they're going to follow up on any of this stuff.
And then
so why not do it that way?
And that's all you had to do, Coach. Exactly what you said. Gunther looks at him, shakes his hand, lifts his hand to the crowd. We give the dude his flowers. You come out on Monday Night Raw, and there's Brock Lesnar. You're going to shake his hand? That's all you have to do. I can't wait to see what they come up with from here.
Well, what's going to happen tonight is they're going to come out and he's going to say, listen, I know his in-ring career is over. I know that. But guess what? John Cena's here tonight in Hershey, Pennsylvania. And they're going to hit his music, and it's going to be the same swerve without the little person that we had a month ago. Oh, you really thought I was going to bring out John Cena? You really thought he was here tonight? It's 101. That's exactly what they're going to do. It's exactly what they're going to do. We have several super stickers we got to get to, and we're starting with our man Tyler Balmer. We also have a little competition on who gives the most throughout the shows because you guys started it. Tyler, you're already ahead by $20. You have 2 spots on the Wheel of Doom on Thursday. First one, imagine if Rocky's last fight with Drago ended with him dropping his hands, allowing himself to get KO'd. Flair and HBK went out like a warrior where Cena smiled and quit. I was ringside for Flair and HBK. I was. And Vince, I think this whole doing symbolic bullshit is most fans don't understand it.
You're right.
They don't
Coach.
get
Right.
well, he was smiling because metaphorically speaking, it was all over and he was happy about what in that moment when he's losing air, supposedly.
If you asked your average wrestling fan, what does the time and honor tradition mean? How many people do you think could answer that?
Zero, yeah, maybe exactly. One or two.
Exactly, it means nothing. They don't know what it means because it means nothing. And then you're going to talk to us about evolving. Oh, so you only evolve when you want to evolve. I
thought that too.
I got it. I understand now. Okay.
The casual fan, and this was the other thing I thought about when I was doing the watch along. I thought if you're trying to increase your viewership on any platform you're on, Peacock, ESPN, Netflix, whatever, then everything I'm thinking about is how do I bring them back to when Vince Russo wrote for Monday Night Raw, when it was 5-6 million people. Now worldwide, 2's a good week. SmackDown 1's a good week. But yet we can't admit that what we're doing is wrong. Because Vince, if you're thinking about the casuals, and I'm seeing John Cena on all of these shows this week, and I'm a casual, and I tune in, I go, what the hell was that? I want to tune in to be happy. I want to tune in to enjoy myself.
Can you imagine if we have that? Oh my God. Wow. If we have that match and ringside, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Make-A-Wish kids. Cena goes over and they let the kids in the ring. If anybody should get that moment, it should be the WWE. That's the last thing you see. Everybody knows Cena with Make-A-Wish. These Make-A-Wish kids in a wrestling ring for the first time oh my God. And look what they did. What do we see? Triple H on the ring apron pointing at a video. Guys, really digest that and think about that. Think about that.
What's hard to think about, Vince, when I think about that is TKO, and I've got to include Triple H with them. They've been preaching at us for a year, right? This is a show. This is not wrestling. It's a show, right? So if that's the case, they also have said, we want to figure out how do we make the most money. Well, do you get more money by doing yours, by putting the Make-A-Wish kids out there? And hey, guys, we got a chance to bring in $1 million. Do you want to put Snickers on a shirt with Make-A-Wish on it tonight on 25 kids? That's a marketing right there. Marketing 101. You could do that.
Coach, you would have created a moment where there wouldn't have been one dry eye in the house. And what did we get? We got them booing Triple H out of the building. Good. Perfect. There wouldn't. I would have been watching that final scene, weeping. There would not have been a dry. And look at what they did.
Well, what they also did was they're pushing us towards. Well, look, Gunther's such a hated heel that the fans chased him to his car. Do you see how much security they had to have for him on the streets? First of all, it's nonsense. Stop chasing wrestlers. That's done when they leave the arena, first and foremost. But number two, Vince, that they have to latch onto that, because otherwise, what else do they latch onto? Because so many of us, and to be honest, usually the loudest people are the ones that want to be heard the most. So I'd say 80% hated the ending. But those 80%, Vince, I was told too, you don't understand.
Yeah.
You don't
of
get
course
it.
not.
We don't get it.
Of course we don't get it.
Why would we want to be happy?
Yeah.
Let's stay with Tyler. If the mission is to put heat on Gunther for making Cena tap out, then why wasn't he front and center to take credit during the post show? Triple H took the heat from Gunther. Another great point. Why was Gunther on the post show? By the way, I didn't watch all of it. I know Triple H was on right after the show. Right after the show. So he's that's what you do. You put Gunther on that post show.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I don't know if he was. I'm assuming he wasn't, or Tyler would have said so.
Yeah.
But Triple H was on there. And then when they were chanting AEW, he tried to do that same. I just got this sent. Okay, here we go. This was just sent 1 hour ago from TKO. Thank you, Capital One Arena. Tonight's Saturday night's main event was not simply the highest grossing WWE Arena event ever, but highest grossing event ever at Capital One Arena.
Yeah.
Well, Triple H, if it was the highest ever, it would had to have been also at that arena.
Yeah.
You get that, right, Vince?
Yeah, and also going back to what you said, Coach. Yeah, that's great, guys. You set records. You had all those people there. And how'd you send them home?
The other part I thought about was this. Speaking of spending them home, I know that the big thing was they asked for $7 million from Boston to have the event there. Do you think maybe, just maybe, they never wanted to have it in Boston in the first place? Because can you imagine? You think a few fans were chasing Gunther out the door on that?
I wasn't even thinking that, Coach. I was not even. That is a great point. That is a great point. Wow.
You would have had a riot. You would have had an absolute riot. And all of those people cannot be wrong. They all can't be wrong. They can't be. Sometimes it can be as simple as give the fans what they want. Suspend the belief. Because, Vince, I truly believe this, that when you're on, because I lived it. You lived it. When you do stuff so quickly, it's one thing if you have a show tonight and you don't have another show for a month. You carry that on. But when you're every week, 2 shows a week, nobody's going to remember a suspended belief one night where Gunther got beat. But yet they believe that the fans do, that it matters that much. But it doesn't at all. At all.
You know, Coach, I'm going to make a bold prediction, and I kind of felt this watching the end of that and listening to the crowd. I'm going to make a bold prediction.
Okay.
I think that marked the beginning of the end for Triple H. I'm going to tell you right now, because the people have turned on him, because those boos were not just for the finish of a match. Those boos were for the last year. And the way this entire thing was penned out under his pen and under his guidance, and that's where the boos were coming from. And that very, very, very well could be the beginning of the end, because there has been a turn on Triple H.
At some point, you have to address it. At some point, you can't walk around with blinders on and act like it doesn't exist. He's laughing up there because he's like, I got him. We got him again. You didn't get anything. This is what, again, people expected you to do.
Yep.
And the whole entire tournament, 15 straight matches, I predicted with my eyes closed. That's not being the head of creative. If you have the end game, great. What are the 14 matches to get there? Yep. How do you make those creative, Vince?
Yep.
You don't give me chalk. You don't tell me, well, Solo would be so hurt if Dolph Ziggler beat him. Really?
Yep.
And that's why they got an F for this whole tour. Give me one thing, Vince, one thing that, in your opinion, they got right for John Cena and to respect John Cena.
You would have to say him winning the title, but that was the heel turn. That was god awful.
That was Travis Scott. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if him and Cody would have had a babyface match and Cena would have won the title, fine. Okay, that's the moment we could point to. But what came out of that was no highlight for John Cena.
All these fans right now that are talking storyline, that were bitching all year because his 17th win, he needed a 140-pound rapper to bonk somebody in the ear and break their eardrum. Like, by the way, what happened Saturday to Cody again, his ears got to be killing him right about now. But that's what, if we truly, Vince, remember everything that happens in wrestling storylines, then these same fans, you've got to say, well, Travis Scott won that 17th, not John Cena.
That's true. Yep.
If that's really what we're doing.
Yeah.
Which and is
also,
not.
Yeah, and also, Coach, we got a news flash.
What's that?
For Cody Rhodes.
What's that?
Mr. Backlund wants his suspenders back. with all due respect, Cody.
Let's go to Papa Rain. YT, he says, do you guys think Triple H is purposely giving himself heat now at this point to put himself in the position of a heel on TV? Happy Monday, gentlemen. It wouldn't surprise me.
You want to know something? That would probably save it. That would probably save it, Coach. If he went out there and cut the promo of everything we're saying, that would probably save it. Seriously, that would. Yeah, man, I wasn't going to get him more over than me. Of course we had him beat twice on the way out. You think his legacy is going to be greater than mine? That would save it, actually.
Wow. And now what if he aligns himself with Gunther? That they were in it together.
Yes.
And oh man, I might enjoy that actually.
Yes,
I might enjoy that.
That might save the whole thing. Absolutely.
Papa Rain, maybe you just saved wrestling right
yes,
there.
You
could have
it.
saved wrestling.
I love it. Yes.
A wrestling historian says most online WWE fans proved that they don't care about the future of the company when it comes to building stars. John Cena chose not to be selfish. Again, that take, while I respect it, wrestling historian, it's just, it's not selfish when, here's why he's different. Name me one other wrestler, Vince, or wrestling historian that's been connected to the kid fan base as much as John Cena.
You can't. You
guys got to stop looping him in with everybody else.
That's the first thing you think of. And again, guys, we're not talking about him not being selfish. We're talking about you beat him twice. That's
Correct.
what we're talking about. It doesn't work that way, bro. That you want the guy doing a job on the way out. That's the way out. It's not the match before the way out. That's the way out. You beat him twice.
They really, he's at one point I knew John about as well as anybody, and he never says no. He never pushes back. He just does it almost to a fault. All right, we got another person on the Wheel of Doom coming up on Thursday. ECast829 says, visiting Colorado for the first time from Gainesville, Florida, and it's no wonder why you live here, Vince. It's absolutely breathtaking. P.S. The Ark is the best thrift store I have gone. Coach is the man. That's one of the best ones we've ever gotten.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of hours at the Ark, ECast. A lot of hours, yes.
Wait a second. You, thrift store, and cheap all in the same sentence?
Yes.
This
store from the Ark. This shirt right here from the Ark.
Was that like $3?
No, that's way too much. $1.99. $3. What do I get, a massage with that for $3, Coach? Come on.
Do they do the thing where you get a bag and you can put as much in there for like $100?
No, but what they do, Coach, is Tuesday is Seniors Day, so everything is half price, Coach. Wow. Tuesday's big.
What's the cutoff? Like, is it 55? Is it 60? Is it 65?
It's 55. 55 is senior.
55.
Wow. Yes.
Wow. You've been going there for 25 years as a senior.
God,
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yes.
At Sam Murray says, Coach, did you have heat with Triple H or the WWE in general before your departure in 2008? 1,000% no. I don't have heat with him to this day. We're just very critical of what he's doing right now. But no, I have no heat with him. I got along with him great then. You guys know, like my last year and a half, it was basically me fighting with DX and Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Probably the most heat I have now, Vince, is people sending me the night that I had my butt spray painted and got thrown through a wall where I kind of dangle there.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to hold everything in to not dangle in other places. And I had just signed my ESPN deal the Friday before.
I know, you told me that.
That was heat. Because I was like, I'm going to heat somebody if they cancel my ESPN career over Buttgate, as I like to call it.
Yes,
Although my butt did look good in the picture.
Yeah, it has looked. I've seen the
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I always put it.
Angelusha 1987. You are on the Wheel of Doom coming up on Thursday. Seen so many people wonder why Randy wasn't there, including him, his own peers. Apparently, Triple H didn't want Randy in DC. That's why he was in Saudi. Cena's biggest rival, not even there to celebrate him. Again, I've heard the same thing. If that's the case, how dumb are we, Vince? I mean, I'll say it again. You thought that it would take away from Cena's last night to have Randy Orton in the building? Apparently, all the other people he wrestled with, would that have cost too much to fly them to DC, Vince? I mean, I expected a thing where he's walking down and there's like 20 OGs standing there, where he's high-fiving all of them.
And you know what, Coach? Vince would have done it that way.
What he would have done is everybody would, of course, the way they had it, they couldn't do it. He would have brought everybody out on the ring. He would have walked up. the seas would have parted, and it would have been Vince and Shane standing there as the last two. That's what Vince would have done.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit sad that he wasn't there. He may have been backstage. I thought he might show up. But at the end of the day, I believe Vince really wouldn't want to take away from Cena's night.
Yeah, never. And
that would have. So moving forward, Triple H is calling tonight on Raw a new era.
Oh, how many times? How many new eras are we gonna have? Oh, come on,
hey,
man.
you need to stop right now, because 3 weeks ago he did not say new era. He said epic night.
Epic night.
Epic night.
Epic night.
Epic night. Now
Oh.
this is a new era. So I thought Vince, as I watched those NXT guys on Saturday, I thought at least one of these three are going to get completely screwed over. At some point, they're going to get completely screwed over, because right now, to me, if you're going to add a person to the vision, you got the Bronze, you got Logan Paul, who with the vlog and him flying private, amazing, because I love that he's showing how much different his life is, that he makes so much more money. Flying private as a talent means you make a lot of money, you can negotiate, because most guys do not.
Right.
They don't.
Right.
They don't. So Logan becomes even a bigger heel to me. So to me, I would put Ricky Saints in that masked man. But if you are listening to all these people that say you've got to address these storylines every single week, what are the odds they don't address the mystery man tonight?
Oh, God, Coach. If they don't address it after 3 weeks, it's dead. It's already dead, because the baby faces don't seem to care about it. But if you don't do anything in 3 weeks, come on, man.
And that's what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. That's why you come here, because we're just not talking that, we're pissed over a finish. What we're frustrated at is when people think they're going to use it to further a storyline. They forget about it as fast as they do it.
And guys, let me just translate that to you, please, so you understand what I'm saying. Okay, say a casual wrestling fan is watching Survivor Series. Okay, Coach?
Yep.
Argument's sake, there's a masked man. We don't know who it is. We turn in the next week on Raw. Now we're interested of who it is. We don't know who it is.
Yep.
Okay, we'll turn in the second week to see who it is. You don't find out who it is. Guys, guess what? There is no them coming back a third week. You've lost them. You've lost them. You had them interested. They came back once. They came back twice. They ain't coming back a third time.
Whoa. But didn't we get Roman, Cody, CM Punk the Monday after showing up on the show and pissed off that they lost because the win is everything to these superstars? Didn't we? No, we didn't. But the second week that you're talking about, we had those guys come back and talk about it. Isn't that what happened last week?
Coach, we did. They did not come back last week, Coach. No, they did not come back.
So what you're telling me is that these wins mean nothing. You're telling me that if they're not upset they lost, then why should Gunther be upset? Do you see where I'm tying all of this together?
Yep.
They talk out of both sides of their mouths.
Absolutely, yes.
And by the way, I do feel like Austin Theory is going to get the shaft. I do believe he was supposed to be the person in there, and now that it's not, or now that everybody thinks that it was, they're going to put somebody else in there. I've heard Ricky Saints. So put a pin right here. I've heard Ricky Saints is the guy that they're going to bring up. So they just took the NXT title off of him. I've heard it's going to be Ricky Saints, which I think would be a great addition to the vision, to be honest. He can talk. He's a little bit undersized, but that's okay. Mm-hmm. But I think he would be the guy, because I've heard Ricky, Trick, and Obi are going to be brought up in the very near future. If I ask you, Vince, of those three, who do you think is ready to be thrown into a really good storyline? Who would you say?
Do you want me to be absolutely honest with you?
100%.
I don't know who any of them are because I'm watching this, Coach. Coach, come on. Like, seriously, you gotta drag me to a TV to see John Cena's last match. You think I know who Obi-Wan Kenobi from Star Wars? Is that who we're talking about, Coach? Star Wars, Obi-Wan?
I don't think Obi-Wan was from Africa, which is where Obafemi is from.
Obafemi, okay.
Obafemi, yes.
No, I do know this. I know Obafemi had a match against Cody Rhodes, which I did not see, but I do know he had a match against Cody Rhodes.
So that was one of the things I liked because they had Drew McIntyre come out, interfere in the match because obviously you can't have Oba going over. And then Drew and Oba had a stare down, which you can now actually use moving forward when they Bring Obafemi up. That made a ton of sense. Because now when he comes in, you've got a ready-made rivalry for him.
Yeah, Coach, they can use it, but will they? Like, seriously, will they use that, or will that just be forgotten about?
Why are we asking you stupid questions? I don't understand why we're wasting our time on stupid questions. Of course they're not going to. By the way, I don't know if you saw Papa Rain. He said, I also enjoyed The Rock showing up. The Rock, who has made, I counted, two McAfee show, Kelsey show, all year after the Elimination Chamber.
And not only, bro, did he not tweet it? I'm asking you.
He tweeted. He did.
Okay,
he did.
That's why I'm asking you. What did he say? What did he say?
Well, it was like 2.5 minute video, and half of it was you and I. We've been down that road together. Only you and I know what was said. Only you and I. It was like all that. And I was like, can you just put him over, please?
Yeah.
Can you please just put him over?
Yeah.
And it was just like, so grab your tequila, grab your mana. And I'm sitting there going, you couldn't have tweeted at any point during this year. Like at no point in this year, you could have put that out. You could have done that. You chose today.
Man, I'm surprised I missed that. That didn't come through my feed, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't played very much because they had already sold out the event. He wasn't needed to sell tickets.
Yeah.
So that's why he didn't show up.
Yeah.
Who's shooting a movie on a Saturday? How do you not show up?
Yeah.
How do you not show up? I'm busy. He's the GOAT. I'm busy. You fly in on a PJ, you show up. Hey, peace. I'm out of here, back on the PJ. First world problems. Kimberly, our girl.
Wait a minute. The coach is going to fly in wearing his pajamas?
If I had to.
You just said PJ. He's wearing his PJs.
Private jets.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Private jets.
I'm picturing rocking his pajamas.
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
My bad.
Vince, I came to the Attitude Era for the storytelling, pace, and amazing characters. Hell no to empty fan chants and pantomime wrestling.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right, we got another person on the Wheel of Doom. Thank you for T. Dunn says Q Theory Music. They showed Rhodes crying ringside after the show, ringside by himself. Do you think he was crying, knowing everything is downhill from here and pressure on him is on a sinking ship? Well,
T. Dunn, I think he was crying because he got a text message from Bob Backlund wanting us to suspend his back. I think that's what brought the tears on. To be honest with you, that's what I think.
I know. All joking aside, I'm a huge fan of Cody as a person, and I know it meant something to him. Obviously, probably different than the rest of us. I would guess, but I don't know. I don't know. Sam Murray says, Coach, did you like being on Raw or SmackDown during the mid 2000s? Well, Raw was always the best show. I mean, I don't care how good SmackDown was. For our first 3 years, SmackDown was taped, so that sucked as well. I was on SmackDown. It was my first time ever with The Rock, so that meant a lot to me. But wouldn't you say, Vince, Raw was just a different feel?
Yeah,
than SmackDown?
It was.
You know?
It was always the lead show and the first show, so of course, all the energy is going to go into that show.
Yeah, it really, really was. Aco says, does that tag match at main event sum up the future of pro wrestling? Literally no storytelling, just crazy move after crazy move. Someone is going to get hurt. I actually don't mind matches like that. If the way the night was set up, Vince, it was one-offs. These are one-offs. And those two guys, what they were trying to do, Akos, is that's what those two guys do on the regular. That's a normal match for them.
Yeah.
And so I think they wanted to show the masses just how athletic those two guys are. Because Leon Slater did this one move where he jumped over the corner of the ring out onto the floor and landed on his feet and did a full flip with a twist.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Javon Evans, the same type of thing.
Well, that's what people need to understand, man, to go all the way back to like 96. Bro, the Lucha, that all started with Nitro and Eric Bischoff, but here's what people don't understand. It was one match. And it was like a special match when you had the Luchas and they were doing all that stuff. It was a special match. Then we had, the light heavyweight division, which was a ripoff of that in the WWE. Then then TNA had the X division. But you guys got to understand, it was a specialty match. There was one match like that. Now that has become the whole show. So the problem is, if you're not a fan of that style of wrestling, you're not going to be a fan of the whole show. That's the problem. That's why that used to be a specialty match, Coach.
No doubt. That's a great explanation. And I also wanted to ask you this, because Leon Slater, he's a 21-year-old kid, probably the most athletic person I've ever seen in a ring. He does a Swanton 450. That is the most insane thing I've ever seen. Imagine a swanton from Jeff Hardy and add 2.5 somersaults to it. It's insane.
Yeah.
But here's what I want to ask you, because I don't know if anybody's thinking about this, but he's in TNA. They just signed a big TV deal, or big for them. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, what happens when WWE says, we want that guy that we saw Saturday night that the crowd went bananas for? We'll just go and just outbid him and just yank him away. We just did a deal. We have TNA by the balls, and we can do that. You cannot lose one of your biggest stars, even if it's your youngest star, right when you're starting a weekly episodic TV episode. Do you think that will start to become an issue with TNA guys that could leapfrog NXT right onto the main roster?
It very well could be an issue, because I think it's clear to everybody, the WWE, starting with Triple H, they have issues, problems making new stars. So if you could have other companies make new stars for you, and if this kid can get a name on TNA, just like when we used to get talent from ECW, same thing. When the Dudleys came over, people knew who the Dudleys were. Mm-hmm. Now you've got other wrestling companies doing your work for you. So it very, very well can happen, Coach.
All right. Very, very good. All right, let's go to TYX25. He goes, semi-off topic. Did you see the poster for Cody as Guile and Roman as Akuma in Street Fighter? JC Van Dam looked way better as Guile than Cody, in my opinion. That's Cody?
Yeah.
That can't be Cody. That's Cody?
Ugh.
That looks more like Roman Reigns, but okay. I mean, okay, well, I just got to wait to see the movie. I'm happy for both guys. I'm happy for Drew getting some movie roles. That doesn't look anything like Cody at all. But does that look like his face?
Yeah, I think the mamby-pamby haircut is throwing you off, Coach.
Yeah,
the haircut's a little mamby-pamby.
I think that it is. All right, so that's the first time I'm seeing it. But good for them. Good for somebody other than Rock and Cena to get some movie roles.
Oh yeah, I'm all for that, bro. They're gonna make good money. They're not gonna have to put their body through hell. I'm all for that. I'm all for guys transitioning over. I'm all for that.
I think wrestling fans, they never think past the wrestling, because they're like, this person is gonna be here for 30 years. That's what all wrestlers do. And most wrestlers will tell you, shit, if I get to 20 years, I'm walking around with one bad knee, I would die to move into that space, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. This nonsense that guys want to wrestle till they're 50 is nonsense. They want to make the money till they're 50.
Yeah.
They don't want to wrestle till they're 50. Look at Cena. He's 48. He was like, I'm done. Dominic, a go, 1513. You get not one, 2 spots Thursday on the Wheel of Doom. You ask, Triple H is a good heel performer with DX and Evolution. As head of creative, he doesn't know what he's doing by booking and producing good shows. The fans chant "F you Triple H" shows that he's a lousy booker. Dominic, thank you for the double super sticker.
And every time we bring up Dominic's been here with us before. He's a scary looking dude, Coach Dom. I don't think I'd want to run into Dominic in a back alley. Look at Dominic, bro.
Imagine if we had our crew from Coach and Bro.
Yes.
And we went head up against anybody else's crew.
Yes.
I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Yes.
No show wants to come to the Coach and Bro show.
You give Dominic the hot tag at the end, it's game over. It's game over, Coach.
Give me the John Cena shoulder tackle. One time. One time. Dominic, I feel like sometimes we just repeat ourselves over and over and over and over again because this is what this show is about the wrestling business. And right now, you've got one guy who seemingly is not listening to anyone else, but also, Vince, people need to understand what that creative room looks like. Mm-hmm. Triple H, I don't know how often he's in the room when they're writing. I'd imagine with everything else he's doing, he can't be in there very much, can he? I mean, I wouldn't think. You still got Ed Koskey. So Ed Koskey was there when I was there. I famously, I can't really tell the details of this, Vince, but Ed Koskey, let's just say there was a night where I kind of made a man of him. Let's just say that. I introduced him to a world that he had never been a part of before, and I would dare say he's never been a part of since.
Yeah, let's leave it at that. This is a family show.
It's a family show. Yeah, so I won't say any more than that, although he still owes me a thank you. Yeah. But when you got these 21 to 25-year-old kids that are in there, they're not going to – I think they'd be scared to death to bring up something that's against the norm, that's against where we've been going. Guys, chalk. So if you're in there and you're a 22-year-old kid on a 3-month trial, because that's what these guys get. These kids get 3 months. They move to Connecticut 3 months, and then you're done. Then they leave you hanging out to dry. So, Vince, how creative can you be if you're scared to death? Well, you're not going to have a job after 3 months.
And Coach, really think about this, because what Coach is saying is right. Guys, think about, man, you're sitting in that room and you're picking that one spot. You know what I'm saying? And in your head, what am I going to say? How am I going to say it? When I'm going to say it? Guys, that's not creative. I mean, I know, Coach, when I was working with Vince, it was boom, 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 boom. That was my job. Nonstop. Boom, 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 boom. You can't sit there for 2 hours and worry about how you're going to deliver one thing and how that's going to be accepted. That's not creative, man. That's not how creative works.
And I would dare say they're probably not doing the same meetings link they had back in the day. But once, Vince, you left and they had a whole room of writers, they would write the show the entire week. Then on Saturday, Vince would rip up the whole thing, start over, and they would have an 8-hour conference call, what do you call it? Meeting call, Zoom call, whatever it is. And I remember there was one buddy, I really liked him. He was on the creative team. Hey, man, we're going out downtown Stamford tonight. Come on and join us. I wish I could. Going to be on the conference call with Vince. And I'm like, on a Saturday at 7 o'clock?
It's brutal. Unless you've been there and done that, you got no idea how brutal it is.
Brutal. Trader Chris one says, did my $9.99 go through before the show started? Tell you what, Trader, if it didn't, and we're if nothing but on the honor system. So we'll put you on the Wheel of Doom on Thursday. I promise you. Don't know if it did, but we believe you. Yes. So you're going to be on the Wheel of Doom. Yes. Let's go to Grip 24. Is The Rock deliberately sabotaging Triple H? I believe that to be true.
Yeah.
I think at some point, I don't know how soon, Vince, but all year, if you guys have been watching our show, we have been very consistent. I've told you, because I was there, Rock does not like Triple H. Every time they say that they do, it's a lie. They don't. They never have. All the way back, they never have. So all this year, when something happened, and I don't know what that something is, Vince, but Rock got pissed and said, you know what? I got my $40 million. I'm going to take my ball and go home because I don't need to be here. And I think that's what happened at WrestleMania. That's why John Cena wouldn't answer any of the questions last week. What could have been? What should have been? That's why the answer is yes, he was supposed to be there. Because there's no universe, Vince. I can't even imagine you sitting in a creative meeting going, all right, guys, main event, night 2. John Cena wins the WWE Championship. How are we going to do it? Well, we're going to bring in Rock. No.
You can't even say it with a straight face, Coach. Don't even attempt to say it with a straight. Coach, I swear, I tweeted out on Saturday night when I started hearing you effed up. I tweeted out somewhere Rock is sitting back.
I saw you.
And you know he was.
Of course.
Of course. All right, this is what you wanted, big boy. You got it.
If you don't believe us, the tweet that we're talking about happened the day before Saturday. And you had all those people on social media after the match on Saturday night. Congratulations. You're my dog. You're my guy. In fact, before I talk out of my ass, let me just go look. And let's check the timeline in real time. So let's go to The Rock, The Rock's page. All right, here's Dwayne The Rock Johnson. 15.9 million followers. Smashing Machine pinned to the top. 1 day ago, he reposted it. He had this. What's today? Monday.
Yeah.
So he reposted this video that he posted a day ago. Then before that, his last tweet, Vince, was November 18th.
Wow.
He had not tweeted in almost a month.
A month? Wow. Yeah. God. Yeah. Man,
yeah.
That's bro, that he used to be all over social media.
All over social media.
Wow.
I think, guys, and I can't fault him for this part, is that he has spent, because I've had conversations, Vince, he has spent his entire career wanting to be validated in the world of Hollywood.
Yes. And he was. That Golden Globe is freaking huge. I mean, good for him. That is huge.
It really is. But you got to believe that his agents and the people around him are like, wait a second. Do you remember 22 years ago when your agent said, you're too big, lose weight, you can't have the tattoo, all those things that Hollywood was not going to like. And all of a sudden, Vince, he gets the one movie, the one role that he gets an opportunity for a Golden Globe. He doesn't want to be anywhere near the wrestling business.
1,000%.
Right? But I can't fault him for that.
I can't either. And he doesn't want to make himself accessible. He's a big star, Golden Globe. Listen, guys, just so you know, if you're nominated for a Golden Globe, you're usually nominated for the Academy Award.
1,000%.
Now, it's not 100%, but that's how it usually works.
Correct.
Do you know how huge that is? That's
and
huge.
If he would have huge, that would validate everything, all the work he's done for the last 23 years.
Yes.
He loves wrestling. Make no mistake about it. But we all want people to tell us that we're great at something we put our life's work into.
Right.
And that's what this is. And I can't fault him for that. What I fault him for is letting us believe all the bullshit. That's what I fault everybody for. That they think that the six of them got one over on all of us.
Yeah.
You didn't.
Coach, I want to ask you a question because obviously you know him personally. I do not at all. Whether it's a year down the road, 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, do you ever think we're going to hear Cena say, okay, this is what I really think. This is how I feel. You think we're ever going to get that out of him?
No. It wouldn't even matter what he's doing moving forward. The answer is no. He's way too much of a class act. He would never throw anybody under the bus. And he also lives under the premise that what's happened behind me, I can't do anything about.
Yeah, got you.
So why would I talk about it?
And that's a good premise. That is a good premise.
It really is. Maybe you and I should do that too. I don't know. But also, Vince, he just signed a 5-year deal to be a WWE ambassador. Super smart on his, so it's at least going to be 7 figures a year.
Yeah.
And there was a time when Ric Flair was offered the same type of deal from Vince. $1.5 million for 3 years. All he would have had to do, Vince, to make $500,000 a year is to go ahead of a big show and do interviews on TV and stuff like that. That's it. He chose to go a different route with a promoter at the time instead of working for the WWE, which blew my mind.
Yeah.
Guaranteed money instead, but that's what Rick was. That's what was his decision.
Yes.
For Cena, can you imagine an easier way to make $1 million a year than doing a few interviews?
Yeah. And that's gravy. And that's gravy to him.
Gravy, extra money, pays the property taxes, all good.
Yeah.
But I think because of that 5-year deal, Vince, that
makes sense, Coach. Yep.
Like he wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
All right, we got several more. Then we got to get out of here because I have a show in less than an hour tonight, the Monday Night Grind, for all of you who watch our other brand. Dolphins and Steelers, by the way, tonight. Let's go to M. Heat and 420. Good to see you. I'm here to wish everyone a happy holidays. Thank you.
Former winner.
Yes,
Coach.
former winner. Where's our picture at?
Yes.
He's also put over JCW. I've been enjoying the recent episodes of Lunacy Hollywood. Haley J is awesome.
She is awesome. She's like 22, 23 years old, and what a pro. That tells me it's still possible. It is still possible to be that young, and for me to stand there and say, that's a pro. They get it. That's a pro.
Well, I look forward to seeing her more and more. I also, because I watch everything from afar. You guys need to understand, I don't know if you're noticing a little friction today between me and Vince, because Vince got this huge opportunity with JCW. I have offered more than once, and he simply has not taken me up on any of my offers. So little friction. Let's go to Stuart Henderson. He says, underpants and puppies removal match is cool. Again, thanks, Vince. Wow, from Scotland. You know what somebody said to me the other day? Because I was the guest referee in the Miller Lite Catfight Girls against Stacy Keibler and Tori Wilson bra and panties match at WrestleMania in Seattle. My mother in attendance and the millions watching around the world. And somebody threw it in my face the other day. How do we take you seriously? You're the same idiot that let Tori Wilson and Stacy Keibler pull your pants down. Now let's listen to how that sounds coming out of anybody's mouth.
Yeah.
I'm the idiot, Vince.
Yeah.
Because I let Tori Wilson and Stacy Keibler pull my pants down.
Unbelievable. Coach, can I share something with you that will blow you away? Because, guys, I promise you, it was the same way in 1995. This is 30 years later. Coach, the last episode of JCW Lunacy that aired on Thursday night. Coach, we get a graph and we see where it spikes, where it goes down, where it spikes, where it goes down. We get a graph. We see it all. Okay. This was the same thing in 1995, 30 years ago. Coach, every spike was between matches. The vignettes in the back, every spike, when they were not in a wrestling ring, it spiked. There's a match, back down to wrestling. In the back, spike. Coach, we had at the end of the show, if Jasmine St. Clair's team lost, she had to strip down to bra and panties. Coach, at the end of the night, the highest spike on the show. What guys, let me do the math for you. Everybody fast forwarded to the end of the show to see Coach. I'm sorry, guys. That's reality, guys. That it was the same in 1995. It's the same in 2025. That's reality, Coach.
It is. And just because we don't talk about it doesn't mean it's changed. Doesn't mean that it's changed. There's a thing called OnlyFans, and people making millions of dollars. That the money's showing up from somebody's credit card. So come on now. This is we don't talk about it. We got several more, and then we got to get out of here. Let's see. Tesh, I bet Triple H has in mind to book Gunther to retire Lesnar in 26. Braun wins world title. Somehow Gunther gets it. Babyface Breaker beats Gunther WrestleMania 43. Oh boy, that'd be a lot to happen in the next 6 months. But Vince, Cena did let it out of the bag that Brock will be retiring sooner as opposed to later. Brock is also 48, I believe.
Wasn't there another name? I thought I saw 2 names retiring short. Wasn't there another name?
AJ Styles is retiring next month.
AJ's retiring, yeah.
He's next month. Trader Chris, right now you're leading the way with the most today because I was stunned Cena tapped out. It would have been poetic for Cena to pass out so he could say he never gave up. Triple H better go heel with the Heat. Yeah, that would have been better.
1,000%. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I'm really having a hard time understanding, Vince, why the stuff that we talk about here on the show is never used. Because it seems a lot of it's basic. Like, it's like basic stuff. Like, that's basic.
It's logic.
Yeah.
That's where we come from. Logical. It's logical.
Yeah. So why aren't they doing it? That's like, this is amazing people come up with ideas. And it's no offense to anybody. This is basic.
Yeah.
This is like 101 before you take that first step up to elite level. Basic. All right. ACOS, back at you. Thoughts on CM Punk? You've given two $5 ones, so I'm going to grant you a spot on the wheel of doom. Make sure we get ACOS on there. Thoughts on CM Punk saying WWE's pay structure has changed from performance-based to guaranteed money. He thinks there's not the same ambition. 1,000%. Vince, what have you been saying the entire year since those big TV deals were cut?
Well, there's no incentive. There's no incentive for the wrestlers. There's no incentive for the WWE to put on a better show. There's no incentive. There's no sense of urgency. And he said it. We didn't say it. He said it.
His words. He said, I don't care if I'm on first or last.
Yep.
If I'm on first, I can get out of there sooner. Vince, in our day, especially house shows last made the most money and then on down from there. So guys fought to be in the main event because it affected their paychecks.
Yep.
But to not sit there, especially, I mean, we sat there when it started Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So every Monday night, all of us had to drive to SmackDown. There was none of this brand split bullshit. So you had to get on the road because it was a minimum of 200 miles in between towns. That was a rule Vince had. So ticket sales didn't overlap. So imagine you're driving 800 miles a week, or approximately, if you're on the house shows on the weekend. Even back then, Vince, people didn't leave early.
No.
They stayed till the end. Thank you for the house. The main eventers are the reason the house is what it is.
Coach, they may have even gotten fined for leaving early.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. At 1,000%.
There was a couple times where we left and they needed something from somebody who was in our car.
Oh, yeah. Forget about it.
Your heart.
Forget about it. Forget it.
And we used to write all backstage interviewers, and once in a while they'd say, hey, we got to tape something, or somebody got cut in the eye and we've got to have something. And we were already gone.
Forget it. Oh, forget it.
Forget it.
Yeah.
Kalen Jangles, do you think there's heat between Cena and The Rock? No, I do not. I don't even think it's possible.
No.
To be honest with you. I really don't. Nobody has heat with Cena except, I guess, David Otunga, who's been putting it all over his social media lately. But other than that, I don't think they have any heat whatsoever. Robert Rose, Vince, if you was writing Raw tonight, would you lean into a Hunter heel turn like Vince in '97, saying the fans screwed, or that he's?
Oh, it would be tremendous. If they actually did that, they could turn the entire direction of the company around without a shadow of a doubt.
I'm a little bit shocked, to be honest with you, that Triple H to this point has not made himself a character on the show. Because with the ego and putting his voice on he had his voice on Cena's video the other day. One of the 10, but still he had his voice on it. Yeah. And to me, this is the natural evolution for Triple H, is to be the head of discipline on the show.
I hate to say it, because my God, did they beat it into the ground when they did it. But a return of Triple H and Stephanie at this point would probably help the show.
But Vince, that would then take away from her babyface run that she's going on her two podcasts.
Yeah, exactly.
Her podcast, The network, the one that never happened.
Yeah.
All right. Tom Brady, 7 rings. Did you hear FU chants to Triple H? Do you think he can make another Attitude Era with stars and edgier storytelling? No. You just saw 6 months where they had all the stars available, and that's what you got.
Yep.
That's what you got. KG92, Violent J versus Russo in a parking lot brawl. Don't be a wuss, Russo.
Oh yeah, I'm old. I'll beat Violent J to a pulp. Let's be. If it ever came down to that, it's game over, Coach. Game over.
Well, let's make one thing very clear. Don't call me, because I do not have your back.
That's not nice, Coach. That's not right. Come on.
That's fact. That's fact. You keep ignoring all my phone calls. Hey, Vince. And JCW is a well-spoken black man who's been in the business for a couple decades. Crickets. 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 It hurts. It hurts. Let's go to Hitesh.
What do you think? Let me ask you one quick question. I know you got to go. I know you're a very busy man. It's on my mind now.
Okay.
Stephen K. Smith, right?
It's Stephen A. Smith, not
A.K.
K. Smith.
6 of one, half a dozen of another. Where's he putting that sledgehammer in his house? Where's he putting it? Do you think his wife's going to have a problem with that being in the middle of the formal living room? Where's he putting that thing?
Let me tell you something.
Over the fireplace,
okay.
sideways, over the fireplace.
There's a dressing room in the studio.
Yes.
And behind the door where you hang up the coats.
Yes, it's going.
It's going to be against the wall right there, underneath the coats. He's never going to take it home. He's never taking it home. So let's stop with that notion. Hitesh, Logan Paul should have done everything Gunther has. Triple H doesn't understand charisma and what draws. This is the guy who said you can't put Booker T over. If this would have been Logan for the last 4 months leading up, I would have been good with John.
Oh yeah, Logan Paul is great. He's great. He's great, man. He looks great. His size is he's great. I don't think that guy's got a flaw in his game.
He doesn't. He's as natural. And the other reason that people who don't like him is because he makes it look so freaking easy too.
Exactly, man.
He's like Randy Orton. He's just like, I'll just go out. But he's working his ass off behind the scenes that you guys don't see.
Coach, I say that all the time, and I don't care what it is, man. People are great and doing what they're supposed to do when they make it look like no effort. I always use Frank Sinatra as an example. Watch Frank Sinatra in concert, bro. Unbelievable.
Incredible stuff. And for a lot of you watching right now, Frank Sinatra was a singer. He sung. He sang stuff.
Come on, Coach.
Kayla Jingles, last one. Cena's loyalty with WWE is based on his loyalty with Vince. Do you predict his loyalty with WWE will last post-retirement despite ambassador contract? I hate to be Vince. Can I get the sounder real quick?
Oh my God, I was afraid you were going to call for that. Hold on for a second. Here we go.
Just imagine TKO, diabolical, sitting in their ivory tower, and they think, "Oh no, what's going to happen after December 15th? What if John Cena talks to whoever asks him the question and answers in real time what happened in 2025? What can we do?" I know. An ambassador contract for 5 years.
Right. You're right. You're right.
Then nobody's going to care what happened in 2020. I think that's a real thing.
I do too. I think you are 1,000% right. 1,000% right. Yes.
We know that on other contracts, there's the NDA part where you can't talk about anything. Yeah. You can't give any details. They're going to bench you for 3 or 6 months if you do. Hello, Andrade. It would not surprise me. But also, I think, Vince, I said this on Monday or last week, that if Vince does what you and I have predicted and partners with the Saudis to buy the company back from TKO, I think 1,000% one of the people that's going to be sitting there next to Vince on day one, night one, and for the next 20 years is John Cena.
I would, absolutely. I would not be surprised at all. 1,000%.
I really, really do. Yeah. I think John, deep in his core, is angry that at this point we haven't moved past the Vince situation. I think at his core he is.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have moved on. A lot of fans want Vince back. Yeah. That's just fact. That's not conjecture. That's fact.
Yep.
Because of the creative. That's what it all boils down to. Last one, Stuart Henderson. Vince, would you have booked Brock to destroy Cena and have any run-ins destroyed also to the point everyone boos with so much color?
I only would have had him do that if it was part of a story and it was going somewhere. To just do that and then not follow up with it, absolutely not.
Yeah. And I think because of the lack of follow-up, that's why nobody believes this.
Yes.
Is you did nothing for 3 months.
Yes.
And he wasn't even supposed to be in Survivor Series, guys, War Games. They added him because they were going to use Austin Theory. And people realized, maybe Austin Theory isn't as hot. I don't know why. Hadn't been on TV in 2 years.
Yeah.
It's 101. Vince, we'll be back this Thursday, but not the following Thursday. As much as I wanted to work Christmas, I said to Stadium, no, We're not going to do it.
Yes.
What do we got in store this Thursday, though? Not just with our show, but is there a JCW show this Thursday?
I'm going to give you guys a big tease. Coach, I'm going to give him a big tease for Thursday.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
Guys, JCW Lunacy on YouTube, 7 o'clock Eastern on Thursday. Big Vito, Vince Russo, Violent J. Are you ready for this, Coach?
What?
One of us is going.
Wait a second. One of the three of you is out of the company?
One of the three of us is going. That's all I got to say, Coach.
Would that mean there would be a spot?
Could very well be. One of us is going.
One of you is going. You got to tune in Thursday night. Will you be doing a live watch along?
Always. I am always, guys, when the first run of the show is 7 o'clock Eastern on Thursday, I'm always in the chat room. I'm always there. You could talk to me, ask me whatever you want to ask me about the show.
I am shocked that you're able to figure out how to type in a chat, but half the time you can't even figure out how to use our links here on the show.
I'm just as surprised. I'm just as surprised as you.
All right, everybody that deserves a spot on the Wheel of Doom, we'll make sure you get on there on Thursday. You got to be watching live, though. Remember, we do the full hour on Stadium, and then we do a little bit over the top of the hour on YouTube, so you got to be watching live to win. But other than that, tune in to JCW Lunacy, support Vince, and support the entire team. In the meantime, that's going to do it for us. Coming up in 40 minutes over on our Coaching Company YouTube page, it's the Monday Night Grind, cutting down to the Dolphins and the Steelers tonight on Monday Night Football. I am the coach, producer man, and also, of course, my guy, Vince Russo. We'll see you next time, Thursday, right here on the Coach and Bro Show. Take care.